We're back using up more 12 by 12s. Are we ready to rock and roll? This is brought to you by Corey Dahlman. Dahmen is her last name, and I will link her channel. As always, I will link her channel in the description as well as a direct link to the video I watched to get these ideas. This one's kind of a little different in that the way you cut it, you kind of strip off of one end, and then what you have left, you cut into thirds. Best, typical, best option is to do this with non-directional paper. I don't have a whole lot of that working through the pads that I'm working on. So it's up to you to decide how you want things to go. This video will show you how to make 4 different items. For some reason I only have 3 here. I don't know where the 4th one went. I'm guessing it must have fallen out at my daughter's house. My granddaughter was going through and putting stickers in my idea book, but it's okay. The one that's missing is an easy one. Now, the problem that I have is, and that you as the creator will have to make a decision that's best in your best interest as well, is that these 2 pieces and the missing piece all use that 4x9 piece sections. So if you want your stuff to be facing in the right direction, you need to cut it off the width versus, off the top or the bottom. You need to cut that first 3 inches off the side. That makes these 3, these 2 plus this one, with the images upright. The downside is that this first one, this 3x12 strip, your images are going to be sideways. But do you want 1 sideways and 3 upright, or 1 the right way and 3 sideways? Or upside down? Sideways. It would be sideways, not even upside down, it'd be sideways. Some of this stuff, like this XO one, could be okay going sideways. This one would be okay going either direction. That one. So yeah, most of these would be okay. This one I would call this directional because all the roses are facing that way. But yeah, some of these could easily be either way. But this one, all of your animals are facing that way, except the turtles are facing in different ways. But all the seahorses, the heads are up this way, the crabs are up this way, the fish is up this way, the plants are up this way. So this, I would say, is a directional. Same with this. This is obviously a directional. So you just kind of have to make the decision. From my perspective, I'd rather have 1 piece that I have to decorate versus 4 or 3 that I have to decorate and 1 being right. So I'm going to set those ones aside. This is what you get. This glues down as a pocket. This glues down as a pocket. And then this will flip out, and this is all writing space. I did make a note here that if I want it to fit in a 6x9 journal, I need to shorten it because this right here is exactly 6 inches across. So if you do a standard half-page journal, you're looking at 5.5 by 8.25. 8.5. 8.5. 8.5 by 5.5. So you could do this because the plant design is to glue this to the book. So you could do it Rachel at Roxy Creation style and have this glued as a pocket. You're going to glue, and then you'll have a part of the pocket hanging out as a tab. That's an option. That would give you a 1/2 inch, about that big, hanging off the edge, and I'll have a tab. Or you can shorten it. Now, for you perfectionists out there and have to have everything matchy-matchy or the same size, more power to you. You can do some additional math here. I think what you would have to do, yeah, you'd have to trim it some way to make it be straight. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about what's going to be visible on this little section right here. But you can see this by just cutting it down to 10.5 versus 12, and then scoring it, you end up with a 5-inch piece instead. This does leave you a little bit of scrap, because keep in mind this original one is 12. Okay, so if you don't mind it being 6 inches, say you want to leave it and you want it just as a slip-in, that will change how you attach the string if it's gonna be a float. But you could do that and leave it as a 6 and slip it into some pockets this way. You can glue it on a page and have a belly band with pocket, and a flip up. That's an option. So if you do leave it as a 12-inch piece, you have options. It's just, where your mind takes you and where that goes. So to leave it at the 6-inch total, you're going to cut 3 inches off one side of your paper. Again, if you're doing directional, I choose to cut 3 inches off the side so that my other 3 pockets are facing the correct way. Because this is going to be a pocket, right? This folds out and opens up, so you're going to want your pieces to be facing that way. But in order to get that, am I thinking that correctly? Hold on. Yes, I'm wanting to cut 4-inch strips. Four, 3. You see all that glittery gold? Grab my trimmer first. So I'm just going to take 4 off of this side so I don't have to take my little leggy out there. No. I need to take 3 inches off the top or bottom. All right. No, because then my stuff is going the wrong way. So, get it right. And it's 3 inches, not 4. I'm glad I second guessed my thought there before I cut it. Making sure those are lined up. This still just feels so wrong. So I'm going. And then turn it sideways, and you're going to cut this into 3 4-inch wide strips. My camera died. Okay, so I'm now rethinking this here. So this goes for this one. This goes for this one. Nope, because that's the same as that one. This one goes for this one. How big is this? 9 by 8. Because, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, all of my pockets, all but one of my pockets is going to be okay. Well, too late to think about that now. So cut this one 4, 4, and 4. See, now my pocket is going to be crooked. That's going to be sideways. So I'm going to set these aside because I want to show you the difference. So we're going to cut 3 inches off the bottom. That's for that long one. Four and 4. Move out of the way. Move out of the way. Okay. Okay, so I'll take each piece and I'll show you the difference. So this pocket is either going to have things sideways or correct, okay? But then this leaves this one being different. Cutting off the side, like I did on this, and then the 4x9s, has this one the correct way, but cutting from the top has it sideways. Okay? Then you have this little pocket, which again, with this, then becomes sideways. Your print is sideways. This way is correct. And the other pocket is similar to this. So the fourth pocket will also be sideways with this one being correct. So you have 1, 2, 3 correct, or one with 1 sideways, or 1, 2, 3 incorrect, and 1 correct. So cut it from the side. Cut it from the top, I mean. You'll get more pieces that are facing the correct way. Clearly, I didn't think that one all the way through to fruition in the brain. Okay. We're going to start with this one. Grab my scoreboard. Whoops, I'm upside down. We're going to go with the one that is facing the correct way. Oh, and I needed to trim this to 10.5. Because I want them to be short enough to fit in my journal. Some of this paper is very fragile, I've come to realize. So, if you're doing it the full 12 inches, you're going to score at 1.5. Put this out like this. You'll score at 1.5, 4.5, 7.5, 10.5, 1.5, 4.5, 7.5, 10.5. So 3, 3, 3, 1.5, 1.5. If you're doing a 10-inch, so that you end up with a 5-inch piece, like, where'd it go? I'm going to score at 1.5, 4, 6.5, and 9. So this one, your inside pocket, they're 3 inches each. On this one, they're 2.5, which is why when you fold it up, this little piece here is much skinnier than this piece here. See, this is like 2.5 finger widths apart. Here's only like 1.5. So you lose a little bit in this center piece, but whatever you decorate on the inside, or is decorated because you have double-sided paper, you're going to see just that smidge, right? Because this is a pocket going to be glued closed. Some of these papers, though, it's driving me crazy because they keep cracking and breaking. This one goes this way. This one. This one goes to the back. This one comes to the front. This one goes to the back. And you're going to fold on that first score line. So you end up with something that looks like this. Burnish all your edges. You can use the edge of your scoring tool. You can use the handle of your scissors. Use your fingers if that feeling doesn't bother you. My daughter would be cringing. Okay. So this has a little policy closure that she puts on there, Corey does, and then wraps it around this end, because again, this is going to flap open. Okay. Let's see. It's too big of a policy. Almost feels like it's too big. Let's see if I have a smaller circle pen. Nope. I was looking for a 1/2 inch. And I don't have one. So let's pull out the good old handy dandy white circles here. And again, don't forget, I need 4. No, because I'm only doing 1. You could do 2 if you wanted to, but again, I mean, why? Come on, glue. Ugh. colors you want to do. Doing the glue bottle there. Let's see. Tumbled glass looks like a pretty good match. I think I like speckled egg better though. I was reaching. I recommend you do all of your inking especially on, the pockets that are going to be glued down. So far, I have enough ink in this to do this whole thing. You can thumb notch if you want. I'm choosing not to at this point. So just to get this flap secured and out of my way, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Run a small bead of glue. Just realized I didn't turn my light back on after I got booted a little bit earlier. Okay, so your closure is going to go on this flap. For starters, oops, I still need that. You also need to decide where you want this. Do you want it top? Do you want middle? Bottom? I'm going to go middle. To find my oh, there it is. It's blending into the black. So half of 1.5 is 3/4. So I'm guessing. And then half this way, so 3 inch, so it's 1.5. That was close. It's funny because that does not look. Oh, duh. Like that doesn't look like it's in the center because it's not. It's in the center this way. Okay, so right there's where my hole punching needs to go. Figure out. Sorry, trying to get to my rivets. I have been crafting like crazy, so I have quite the mess in here. Okay, I like that gold. I like the light blue. So again, because this is going to be on the ends, you're securing this to what's going to be a pocket. You want to get your brad in there or your eyelet or whatever you're using there. And this back is not going to be visible to anybody, but you do want to cover up the little legs of the brad. Otherwise, when you're sliding stuff in and out of your pocket, it's going to get stuck. So I just take a thin piece of white, just a circle. And that's just copy weight white paper. Smush, smush, smush until it's glued all the way around. You definitely want to make sure it's secure on the leading edge. So when your pocket is glued, things are going to be going in this way. So you definitely want to make sure that this edge here is secured really, really well. And then from here, you can glue this pocket closed. So again, small bead up that side, and a small bead up this side. Breaking him. Again, this is just my embroidery floss. Now Corey did this part different than, like, she didn't tie it to this. So like she left a long dangle here, and she's wrapped around and then left another dangle so the string comes loose. But then it's also taped on the back. So I'm like, huh? I prefer to tie them to the brad, or tie them around the brad. It just really depends if you want one string or two. And even if you're tying it to the brad, if you want to have two dangles, just make this one longer. And then after you tie the knot, you don't snip that. But for me, I'm going to do it like I usually do. Knot it around the brad. Get different scissors out. Also, it just occurred to me though, doing it this way, you can't glue it across the back. That just occurred to me. Because this is being glued into a book. So under there. I'm like, my brain is not working. You want it to kind of be the center. Stay. We're going to let this sit and dry. Oh, we'll work on to the next one. Yeah, right, set this off to the side. Okay. The next one over. Where's the other folding one? There it is. Let me go ahead and do it in this one. Get the scoreboard back out. Okay, so for this one, this is a 4x9. It's actually 3. Somehow or another, I really did not cut these correctly. I cut them all into 3-inch strips instead of, yeah. Which again, now additionally, can't figure out why I'm missing an entire pocket. So for this, you are 4 inches by 9 inches. You're going to score at 1 1/8, 2 1/2, 6 1/2, and 8. Wow, that's crooked. Crooked is all. Get it out. So again, 1 1/8. Two 2.5. Right. Oops. What did I say? 6 1/2. Should be 1 1/8. So 7 7/8. So 1 1/8, 2 1/2, 6 1/2, 7 7/8. Right? I don't know how I didn't have those messages, those measurements written down in the book. Okay, so these you're going to fold. Again, it depends on what you want showing. So you can fold them in my case, if you're doing you only have one side. Okay. So when you fold these back, in my case, you just have the white showing. If this is double-sided paper, you'd have that image poking through here. You could also do it this way if you wanted. Especially if you have a single-sided paper. So they open up, but these fold down and down. So this would be very boring to have in a book. So for me, I'm going to fold it out this way and this way. Because again, this is something that's not meant to be glued in. It's meant for you to take it in and out and use it for stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and ink everything. We're going to do the outside. Not going to worry about that flap because it's going to be glued down. But we are going to do this flap on the outside and this flap on the outside. Okay. Now, how does this close? That is up to you as well. These fold together when you close it. So what Corey did was she put policy closures on this side of each piece. Okay. Oh, I was thinking about the wrong pieces being glued down. So I do need to go back and glue those, or ink these. One more. Still back in there. Okay. So these two tabbies are going to be glued down. So they'll be glued here and here, here and here. So when you open these up, you have a pocket here and a pocket here. So when you close it, you put your policy closures here, and then you secure it with a little paper, and then you just do. And this can either be glued down or it can be a pocket, tucked into a pocket, your choice. What did I do with that white paper? Where did the paper go that I was punching holes out of? There it is. So 2 policy closures, so I need 4 circles this time. So cutting that off so that I can then get into this next round. Okay. So 4 of those. Can't tell if I've been on here for an hour already. Ooh, I have. So I just need to finish this one up. We're going to have to do a part 2. We got 10 minutes left on this SD card. So again, poke through the center. And for this one, I'm going to use gold. So I'm really getting it dark on the edges. And then just lightly brushing it just to get rid of that white. And then woo! Ruler. And again, you can put this middle, top, bottom, doesn't really, it's up to you. I'm going to do them up at the top. So 1 3/8. So 1.5 plus 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go 1 inch down. Yep. Okay. Poking through midair. Try not to poke fingers. I got little gold squares. I don't usually use a lot of like gold colored stuff because not my favorite. Like I don't even like yellow gold jewelry. But this has a lot of gold flecking on it, so go through that hole and then over here and go through this one. And again, you're going to find these little white paper circles. Do I have 2 of them? I do. Make sure that's really stuck down. And again, if this was going to be visible, you could use a decorative circle, a die cut, as you might have seen in my previous videos using paper pads. But since these are going to be hidden, there's no real need for them to be pretty, but you do want to make sure that, again, that is sealed completely. Okay, now we're going to glue these pockets. Okay, we got the flap. This is the part that you're gluing. This is your flap. This is the part you're gluing. Glue like so. Pull this down while I put glue on this side. Close that up. That would have been interesting if I'd have put that upside down, huh? So these close. You go around one. I'll leave this one long because I'm seeing dangles for this. Across. Like this. Like this. Like this. Down and around. It's pretty bad when your scissors won't even cut embroidery thread. So there is that. And what Corey did in this little section here, she put a little notepad. Do I have enough time? Well, I have 15 minutes. Grab me a little basket of scraps. Okay, so this measures 1 1/4 by 4. So I just have some random book strips here. Oh my gosh. Urgh. Put these down to 1 1/8. So again, we want it to fit inside those folds. Add these back to my strip buckets. And then I want these to be a little shorter than the whole kit and caboodle. So let's go 3 3/4. And that one's too short. So that's going to go back in there. just going to put a single staple. It's up to you how you want to make this. So that fits right in there. Put some glue there. I'm going to glue this right in here. Close the door, close the door. And then close it up. That does get easier the more time you use it. Each time, you know, first couple times going around, it's really, it fights you on being able to get stuff up underneath there. But so this is part one. I've got this little flappy. So glued on the back. And to secure it, you just go, this one goes around, and then this one comes up and goes down. So then you have these two little strings down here to make your choice what if you want to put dangles on it or whatever. But there's 2 of 4. So stay tuned for part 2. Bye!